Okay, so here's an example integrating using partial fractions. So from the beginning all the way through to integration. So obviously this is a pretty difficult rational. Is that the one you're doing? Right? This is the one you're on? So this is a pretty difficult rational function to integrate. But if we split it up into partial fractions, you'll find that it'll be a little bit easier. So the solution is down here. Okay, I'll just walk you through it. Maybe I'll zoom in just a bit here. So the first step is to split this up into partial fractions, which this is a repeated multiplication in the denominator. And this is a separate factor there. So this one can be split up as a over x minus 1 plus b over x minus 1 squared plus c over x minus 1 cubed, leading up to this 3, plus d over x plus 1. If you multiply by this throughout, you're going to get rid of this on the bottom here, and you're going to end up with this line right here. Okay? So multiplying each term by this right here, which will get rid of all denominators. So one of the methods that we can use to start identifying what the constants are is to use substitution. So you should notice that we have an x minus 1 in many of these right here. Actually, all of them except for this one. That includes the c. So if you let x equals 1 on both sides, you end up with the left-hand side being negative 1, and the right-hand side with all of these being gone equal to c. And so c then is your negative 1/2. So that's the first step there. If you also use a substitution here with negative 1, so negative 1 down here, if you let x equals negative 1, you get rid of this term as a 0, you get rid of this term as a 0, you get rid of this term. So then you can solve for d. And d then is 1/8. So continuing on, just like we did with the other questions, right? Now that you have 2, you can compare the coefficients of the terms. So there's no x cubed term on the other side, so the coefficient is 0. If you expand now, these here, you can find where the cubic terms will be. And the cubic terms here, it's going to be a plus d x cubed. So that a plus d equals 0, a equals negative d. You know what d is, so you know what a is. Finally, if you look at the constant term on the on the left-hand side, and you compare that to what the constant term would be on the right-hand side, when you expand this, and you're going to have to do some expansion there, you can then solve for the remaining b constant. So fill in your a, fill in your c, fill in your d, and solve for b. So there's your answer. So how did you guys do with that? Did we get this for an answer?
Hello, Grizzlies fans. I just wanted to...
Okay, so as we continue on, you need to integrate all of these, right? So if we do that, integrate all those, then that's where we can use these. You're going to have some logarithms, and you're going to have some other integration there. So let's just do that. So this is going to be, what is this going to be? Negative 1/8. Help me out here. Natural logarithm of x minus 1?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's going to be what?
Negative 9 over 4.
Okay, so it's going to be 9 over 4 times the integral of this is going to be what? 1 over?
1 over negative, 1
Not
over
negative
x
1.
What?
Just kidding. Yeah.
Negative 1, sorry, negative 1 times x minus 1? Okay. And this one over here is going to be what? It's going to be 1/2 1 over
Q
x to the
x
minus 1 to the 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You mean Q divided by
Negative
Q?
1.
Oh yeah. So there's a 2 here. Yeah, got it?
But
Do we need
negative
to
Q.
divide by negative 2?
So we'll make that a plus.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And so then this one here, yeah,
1 over
Plus.
x plus 1.
Plus 1.
1 over 8 times
X,
Value.
absolute value.
X
Okay.
Absolute value.
Okay, very good.
Plus k.
Oh, plus k, thank you. Or have we used the c? Yeah, we used the c, so we have to use a k here. Okay, so that is the final answer for this question. Actually, you should simplify, I guess. Yeah, so if we simplify this, let's undo that. So this one stays the same. This one here, actually that changes to a minus, I guess. Minus 9 over 4 over x minus 1. And then this one is a plus
Plus 1/4.
1 over 4
Bracket
x minus 2 squared. Thank you. This one is a plus
1/8. Same. Okay. Yay.
All right, there we go. Okay, good job. So obviously the bulk of it is the partial fractions, right? Finding those constants. So negative 1/8 here, 9 over 4, negative 1/2, and 1/8. So that's the big part of it. But then finally integrating is the most important part because we're trying to find the integral. So here's your answer down here. Good job with that. And that's your integration example.